go ahead and get started. Hey, just to let all y'all know. Oh yeah, that looks really good in blue, doesn't it? Can you read that at all? No, you can't. All right. So, wow. All right, thank God I did not put that on a lot of slides. All right, what it says is if you go to www.netdetect.co, so netdetect.co, all right, and you go to SharkFest, and I'll zoom in on that in just a second. There we go. So netdetect.co, and then click on SharkFest. Scroll down a little bit. There's files. There's files for the presentation, and there's also a OneNote. So download the files, open the OneNote. All right? What time are we supposed to be done? You gotta go louder.
When we leave? When we get done?
John, do you know what time it's supposed to be done?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, gotcha, thank you. All right, so we're gonna stop at 11 o'clock whether we're done or not. All right, so you might wanna go ahead and download these files. Hi, I'm Betty. Okay? Just to kind of let you guys know. In fact, if I pop open the OneDrive and think positive thoughts that it will load, hey, there we go. All the contact info and what have you. All right. If you've never used OneNote online, hit the little 3 lines right here. You can change to the different pages. Okay? All right. Makes it a little easier. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's fire up. And that way it gives me a second to talk while all y'all go ahead and I didn't mic up. I should have mic'd up. Oh well. So that should so is that good? Is the mic hot? No. Get closer to the mic. Get closer to the mic. Oh wow, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it? I'm just really loud. I just thought I could just yell. All right. So that'll give you a second while I talk about the big picture overview to download those files. So they're all nice and G-zipped up for them, all right? And Mike, if you can pop up and wave at everybody for me, please. Thank you. This is Mike. Mike went ahead and captured 2 of the traces for us. Yay! Because you know it's a bear to get traces. So Mike got 2 of them for us. So we have a chance to see what normal looks like, and then I got some that are abnormal, and Trace Wrangler is so super awesome, but does not do very well in the application layer. So I had to edit them by hand so that you don't know who they're from. Good times. Okay. Yeah. So all right. Gives you a minute to get started and download it. All right. So just a big picture protocol overview. Okay, let's see. So we got that one. There we go. So luckily that was the only slide with blue stuff on it. We're going to go ahead and pop open a normal trace file so you know what normal looks like. And so if you just go ahead and open up, hopefully they're downloading quickly. Somebody give me feedback on that. Oh yes, awesome. All right, so go ahead and open the one that's server 2016, please. So. All right. Another thing you want to make sure you download is the profile. So you should be going to a OneNote drive, excuse me, a OneLink, OneLog drive. Thank you. All right, something like something. I don't know. And so so not just the files are in there, but there's also a folder for the profile. All right. So you want to go ahead and make sure to download that whole folder. Don't bother doing each individual file, just do the whole folder, because you're going to have them all in a folder anyway. So you might as well just do that, all right? So let me ask you, I'm just going to make you be honest, all right? Who has ever changed their profile or copied a profile from somebody else? Yay, excellent. Anybody need help on that? Oh, so the rest of you just don't want to answer. Okay. All right. So you want to use the new profile. Okay, now this will be fun for me because I'm in 600 by 800, so I can't see the bottom of my screen. Good times. Okay, so I think I'm in the right profile. I don't know. All right, but I'm going to pop open the one that's 2016. Ah, jeez, this is so awful. Stand by for just a second. I can't deal with this. All right. So sometimes when you change the resolution like this, your bytes disappear, and one would think that you could just kind of get the scroll just right and drag them back on. No, you can't. No. So when that happens to you, you just make it so that you can't view either the bytes or the details, and then you just bring it back. So it's all good. Alrighty. Now, as you're using this profile, I've done a couple things for you just to kind of make things easier. For example, up at the top in your buttons, you've got one for TCP port 445. Go ahead and use that, and let's do a filter for 445 to start off with. Because there's a bunch of extra stuff in the trace file, just like real life, okay? And I don't care about the other stuff, all right? So just make it a little bit easier for us to focus. All right, here, let me go ahead and make that a mite bigger. Is that good? Yeah, okay. All right, that's better, okay. Now, so I have added quite a few columns for you that kind of just make it a little bit, easier if you had a super huge monitor instead of what I'm dealing with right now. Because right now I have big black lines on both sides of my screen. It's driving me nuts. Okay, but so I've got a bunch of extra columns for you. So just scroll way over to the info line, and you see that we've got the beginning of a conversation, which is really nice. So it's easiest when you're first learning something or working with something to start at the beginning and work all the way through. All right. And so these traces were taken at the client. Now, I know that because I asked Mike, the guy who took them. All right, these at the client or at the server, or do you want me to look for that information? He's like, nope, at the client. So the next time, he's going to go ahead and go into statistics and put that information here for you, or I will shame him again. Okay. But these are taken at the client, so we got the client perspective. All right. Now, there's a pattern to this beginning. So let's pretend you're looking at FTP, because that's all this is. It's file transfers, just like FTP, only totally different. So it is. So in the beginning, you're looking at the setup for everything. Do you have privileges? Where is the thing in the first place? You did that via LDAP, and then you got your privileges information via Kerberos. Now we're at the part where we actually need to negotiate the dialect with the server. We need to go ahead and do our setup with the server, our session setup, and then we need to ask for the file and get the file. So the process is very, very similar, all right? But the commands are different, okay? So just kind of, put that in the back of your mind, and then it's not so freaky to look at 857 lines of this setup. Because from a time perspective, it's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad, all right? Okay. So in my Prezi, which I hope now loads back up, everybody think positive thoughts. There we go. We'll zoom in there. Oh, that is so small. All right, let's see if we can do this. Come down. There we go. Better. Well, the cool thing is you'll have access to the slide deck afterward. But the graphic is really nice, kind of like a cheat sheet. Everybody loves a good cheat sheet. So it's a nice little cheat sheet of the normal packets to set up the conversation. So you're looking at about 24 packets. There's 12 different requests, 12 different replies in order to go ahead and have setup. All right. You're going to have to do things like negotiate the protocol. How many of y'all work in a completely perfect environment where everybody's Windows 10 and everybody's server 2016 and it's so awesome? Anybody? Thoughts? No? Oh my God, there's like 2 guys. Okay, so 3 guys. Wow. Y'all need to go home. All right?
Go home now.
So, for everybody else, we have to negotiate the protocol and negotiate the dialect, all right? So for the longest time, I keep hearing SMB3, SMB3, SMB3. When I first heard that, I'm like, oh, it must be a new version, right? It's not, because I was like, where's the filters for it in Wireshark? I'm like, SMB3, red, So it's really just an additional dialect. It's still SMB2. So all our filters, all our columns are still SMB2. It's just a question of the dialect. All right. So me and Annette come from the South. We talk different than y'all do. All right. So same thing. Okay. But you understand us. All right. So we got to negotiate the protocol. We've got to go ahead and do a session establishment. The cool part about doing a session establishment is think of it as you know how when we do a filter for a stream, we have a whole conversation, right? Same concept, upper layer. So after the negotiation of the protocol, which is a different session, everything after that user does is the same session. So therefore an awesome filter, if I want to look at one thing at a time. In Betty Land, I always look at one thing at a time. Or, those jet commercials, right? Where the purple stuff just goes poof. Right? I don't want to be a jet commercial, okay? So one thing at a time. So that's a perfect filter for me, and of course I set it up so that you can do that filter for it. All right. Then we've got to go ahead and do a tree connect. What share do I want to talk to, right? And then I have to go ahead and do, I love this, IO control. When you look at it, you're like, IO control. It's like, what word is this? So IO controlled, and that's where we have to talk to the drivers. Are we capable of doing certain things? Then we're done with the tree. We'll go ahead and reconnect to the tree and go to the next folder for the share. And then we'll go ahead and either do a request for a read or a write, and we'll close. So it's ridiculously involved. It's a little over-engineered, but I wasn't there when they decided how to do it. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at it in Wireshark. There we are. Cool. Okay. So I'll negotiate protocol request. I'm going to go ahead and just right-click in my SMB block and say expand my subtree so I don't have to scroll up and down. All right, or keep doing those little pluses, or triangles. So as long as we have a protocol response and negotiate protocol response, as long as all of that happens without any error message, we've negotiated the best protocol, the best dialect that those two people are capable of. In your OneNote is a nice little diagram of what version uses what dialect and what have you, right? As well as there's links for capabilities for different dialects. The big thing that I noticed that I paid attention when I was looking at SMB3 is the capability of encryption. So instead of let's always run it through a VPN tunnel, now let's go ahead and do encryption, and we can do it per share. You don't have to encrypt everything on the planet, just the good stuff. All right, so that's kind of nice, okay? Now, so you notice he's going to the demo share. If I can get my mouse to work. There we go. There we go. All right, and he's downloading the vitally important folder. I love that. And then a thumb drive. So those thumbs DV picture, you know what that is that's so that when you look at the folder, right, you have thumbprints of all of the folder types. Sometimes they're pictures and stuff. That's what that is, all right? And then we go ahead and ask to query the network interface. Am I able to use that? And you notice how I have my TCP acknowledgements kind of in a softer color? Because I want you to see them. I want you to notice they're there, but I don't want you to pay attention to them. So I just did that with a coloring rule, all right? So if you go into View and Coloring Rules, there we go. Oh wow, that's really, really super tiny. Okay, let me zoom. Ooh, too high. There we go. Better zoom. There we go. So, kind of gives you an idea of some of the different color rules that I used. Red is bad in Betty Land. There we go. All right, wait, also. Okay. So red is bad. Anything that's red's an error. I modified the TCP analysis flags color rule a little bit so that I don't see keep alives, because I don't want to see keep alives, because, you know, hey, it's normal in SMB to go ahead and have a folder list open and then go to lunch. We've all done that, right? So in the background, all through lunch, we've had all these keep alives. Do we care? No. So yeah, those aren't colorized, okay? And then I did black on white just to make it easier for her to read in this projection. You can always change it, okay? All right. Now, so I'm looking for, you know, whether or not we're allowed to do the interface, and then, in my response, we've got object name not found. So those are the kind of things we're looking for, some type of error. So for this one, if I pop that open, there we go, cool. Anything in the NT status field besides all zeros means no. Might be a super duper I'm pissed at you no, or it might just be a, well, you know, I'm gonna get around to it soon no. Right? There's actually error messages for I'm processing. I'm going to go ahead and show my age. I started out as a Novell instructor. Anybody remember Novell? Remember little? Oh, like half the room. I love you guys. Okay. I'm just saying. But remember how there was that error message, server busy? Right? So you knew it was the server. It is not my network. Thank you. All right, it is actually the server said so. So there's actually a couple error messages in SMB that are exactly like that. Server processing, and so we've got filters for those. But there's a boatload for a list of errors. It's in your OneNote. The ones we care about is like server busy errors, all right? So, okay. Now, the key is when you get a response, what do you do next? So apparently, the fact that we got an error for this is okay because we move to the next step. Isn't that funny? Because normally if I get an error, I try something else, or I go somewhere else, or I talk to another server, I try again, I retransmit. I'm like, help me, right? But this one, the client goes to the next thing. It's like, oh, okay, all right. Can't have that object? Oh, I don't really want it anyway. Okay. So that's why this particular error, so it's actually common to see this error, and that's actually why I didn't colorize it, because it's actually pretty normal, all right? Okay, but then we were, remember we got to connect to the tree, right? We're going to go ahead and create a file. So our file is WKSSVC, get a response, get information requesting about the file. So we just made this file, but we still need to have its property information. So, you know, like right click, get properties, because we want to know, you know, that it's named correctly, what date it started, that kind of stuff. Right? So we get a response. Now we're actually ready to go ahead and do our request. So that's our bind call. That's where we're going to actually go ahead and send data. Server says, I'm ready to go. Client says, I am reading 1,024 bytes at offset 0. That's what it's going to look like for the beginning of a file. Now, as the time goes on, that how much I pull at a time should get huge. All right, I want to see 32K blocks, 64K blocks. That's what I want to see. But in the beginning, you start small. All right, it's kind of like a test, kind of like TCP slow start, you know, just a little test, make sure I can get you. All right, but if it's offset 0, that's the beginning of the download. And then after that, you'll go ahead and do offset numbers, just like you do TCP sequence numbers. It's the exact same concept. It's a byte count. All right. So if I'm in a trace and I'm like scrolling through and I'm looking and I see a big old giant delta time, right? And now I look and I'm like, okay, about 4 meg into the file. And now I see we seem to have a problem. And you know, every time we download it at 4 meg, there seems to be a problem. Those are the kind of things you watch for. All right. So only did 1,024, but that's okay. It's in the beginning. Server goes ahead, says okay. All right. And there we go, close file. And there we go. All right. So you notice that you see some of the same requests more than once. Like close file, no, seriously, close file. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's always done that. And it works. So the engineer in me looks at that, and the OCD engineer in me looks at that and is wigging, but it's normal. I'm just going to look at it and not worry about it. Okay? Exactly. So, oh my gracious. All right. And then I love this one, share enumerate. I had to look at that word up the very first time, you know, 20 years ago, the first time I saw that in a trace file, I'm like, enumerate. What's enumerate mean? It means list all your folders. Why can't you say list? All right, anyway, so I just want you to see some of these terms in that where, you know, we actually go ahead and start to pull our file. Now, you'll notice there are some black packets over there, right? Those are bad TCP packets. So if I go ahead and come down here where it clicks on that, we do have some packet loss in this trace, all right? And we do have some, you know, lower layer challenges, all right? But it's not TCP class, okay? But what I want to do is start right here. Let's see what packet number I'm on. Way over. I'm on packet 957. So just do a Control G, G like go, and come down to 957, please. So Control G, just like go, packet 957, please. Because this is a good spot where, you know, we're having a little challenge here in TCP, okay, where we can see, oh, hey, is this a network problem or something else? Because what I want you to see is a couple things. Number one, where we're finally starting to actually just push out the data, right? I have those just plain colorized as white and gray packets. That's where I'm just, you know, pushing out data, all right? So I've got it colorized as just regular plain old TCP, just kind of see it, but don't see it kind of thing, right? And so we're sending data here. Let me scroll over just a little bit more. All right, so you can see they're pretty full packets. They're at 1418 for data, not 1460. I don't remember from the handshake whether or not there was a discussion about the MSS. Mike, do you know if there's like some kind of weirdo thing going on that's taking away some of our data?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. So, okay. So, John, I'm looking for somebody whose name I know and has a computer in front of them. All right, John, do me a favor. Pop up to the top. Look at the handshake. Are the MSSs normal? I never checked. Are they 1460? They're nice and 1460? All right, so what that says is something in the application. So TCP said 1460. 14, oh, the other side 1480. The server said 1418. Interesting. Interesting. So now we know why. All right, so it's not that the application's doing it, because sometimes the application does it. But the server's doing it, but Mike's not sure from a maybe IPsec tunnel point of view why they might be smaller, because you know it's not a server. Okay, so all right, so not as optimal as it could be, but not, you know, ridiculously small. All right, but we are going through, you know, huge parts of the download, right? And just before we start to see these black and white packets, the server says more processing required. All right, so just above that, here, let me see which packet that is. Stand by just 1 second. Packet number 953. Right? Because sometimes these things are just plain old TCP and it's packet loss and these things happen. Sometimes it's something else. So I was just curious, is this something else? Because I knew it was going to be something else. And because I've looked at the file before. So, all right. And these are the server busy type of responses from our server. So I've got a response coming back from the server that says, hey, need a little bit more processing required. In other words, I can't handle this. Stand by. All right. Now the interesting thing is, in Wireshark tracks a command and a reply because they both have the same message ID, right? Let's see, is it message ID? There's like 6 different IDs. Let me scroll over. Yes, it's the message ID. So in between the message ID, there's a command and reply. It's tied together. That's the related packets on the side. Okay? So Wireshark measures your server response time based on the fact that you came back to me and said, yes, I'll give you what you want someday. But I responded really fast to tell you. So if you sort by server processing delay, if you sort by server response time, it might look like server's doing great, but the server's telling you stuff you don't want to hear. So, you know, not the positive reply that's going to come later. And then the question is, how much later? All right? So I think I did a filter for more processing, and if not, we'll just do it. Okay? So let's see, in my filter bar, no, I did one. Okay, cool. So in your filter bar, there should be one for SMB2, more processing needed. Go ahead and use that filter. Let's see how often that happens here in this trace. So the funny thing is, there you go. I have a column for SMB response time, and so the server tells you right away, I can't give you what you want, okay? But he didn't give you what you want. Okay. That's annoying. All right, here, let me make this smaller. There we go, much better. Okay, cool. All right, so, okay. So those are the kind of things that you're looking for when you want to see normal setup. And then once we are going ahead and doing requests and replies, are we getting the response that we want, which is yes, status successful, all right, which is all zeros, or are we getting no? Okay. Now, okay, cool. All righty. Perfect. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you about this, and I can't think what it is. That's okay, it'll come to me later. All right. Now what I want to do. All right, so that's normal, although I did get a bunch of errors. Let's see what the next one is. All right. Okay. So I want to do save time while troubleshooting. So go ahead and open up the 2012 trace, because it also has a normal start, but it has more issues later. Okay? Now, Mike, as the user, do you remember, I mean, I know it's been like a whole week and everything, so feel free to say no, but do you remember any issues as you were copying these files over?
Not a bit. Perfectly clean copy as far as the Windows user was aware.
Okay,
Copy, drag and drop
Drag and
the file from one folder to another.
eventually it worked. All right, so that's good to know. Okay. So some of the things that we can use, of course, are filters and columns, right? So you guys are already using my profile. So now that we've gone through a whole trace file, now I'll ask, did everybody get the profile loaded over? I'll say, yay. Oh, good. All right. Makes it easier, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. So I worked hard on it. I hope you like it. All right. The next thing I want to look at is the flow graph. Who talks to who? Ready? So let's try that one. Oops, that's not what I want. There we go. All right. So let me open up 2012. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Perfect. And I want to go ahead and only focus on SMB, and there's some SSL in here, and there's some other stuff in here. All right. So the SSL is completely irrelevant in these traces, but there's some Kerberos in there that we don't have time to look at, but it was kind of nice to have, you know? So, all right, yeah. Oh, hey, show of hands, because you know I'm thinking about next year, right? So next year, follow on LDAP and Kerberos. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, well, there you go, problem solved. All right, because I was trying to figure out what to do next year. Okay, now, but wait, there's more, all right. So I don't really care about the SSL. I want to focus on the 445, so I'm going to go ahead and use my new button. All right, and ironically enough, there's more than one stream in here. All right, so I got a column for stream, and there's more than one stream in here. So I really want to focus on this one at the top. So I made you another button. All right, let me zoom. Okay, see the one that says TCP stream? What's going to happen with that is you click what you're interested in, a packet you're interested in, and then you hit this button and it will filter for all the ones that are just like it. Ooh. Yeah, one of the macros. All right. Now, here's the cool part. Once you see it and you see how easy it is, because you know, I mean, like, I'm not a developer or anything, okay? It's got to be simple for me. It's just like field name, field name. So it's like field name equals field name, $. So whatever field you're interested in, so I did one for stream, I did another one for session, I think. That way, I'm already on it. You know, I filter something, I see something interesting. I have like 5 packets that have retransmissions in it. So I click the next one, hit my follow, instead of follow stream, I hit my stream filter button again. But you can do it for any field. All right? So hit the stream button, okay? So whatever packet you happen to be on, that's the stream you've got now. All right, and I'm hoping it's stream 16. I'm hoping you have 609 packets. Alrighty? But that's all there is to the syntax. So whatever field name, equal, curly bracket, same field name, $, curly bracket, TCP stream, curly bracket. Yeah. Okay, you can do it for anything. Like HTTP host, I use that one a lot. So, you know, I filter for all my gets. Oh, hey, look, we're surfing, you really are not supposed to be there.com, Charlotte and Rachel. And I can click on how many times we did that. I'm like, see, Mommy can see everything you do, all right? Not above that. All right, don't judge. Okay. So, so you can do it for any filter. Okay, or any field, excuse me. So I have one conversation now, right? And the first thing I notice is in my SMB time column, it's negative 24 seconds. That's like amazing. Let's go back in time and do that. You know, and that was, when I looked at that, I'm like, what the heck, right? And so what it is, all right, so my next column is read length. In other words, how much data am I requesting in, each time, right? So we remember how we want that to be nice, 32K, 64K once we start downloading stuff. And then the next column is session ID. So remember that's the whole application layer session except for the negotiate dialect, right? And then I have what share I'm interested in or what tree I'm interested in. There we go. And then my next thing is file name. Just trying to get these be a little bit smaller so that I can see more stuff at one time. When you hit your resize all columns button in this trace file, what we'll discover is one of the beautiful things about the newer versions of the SMB is you can ask for more than one thing in a single packet. So I want this and this and this. Yay! But that means you have 3 SMB response times. Because I might not give you everything in my response in the first packet. They might be spread on packets and stuff like that, so they might be different. So it's like, that's why some of these columns are so wide. But there we go. So there's the file name, which we'll be able to see in a little bit. There we go, finally. All right. So the one that has the 24 negative time is negotiate protocol response. Well, that's strange because, you did a negotiate protocol request and then the reply, they're right next to each other. How come it's negative? All right. Well, you notice there's a number missing there in the message ID, all right? Those 2 packets look like they go together, but they don't go together, all right? They don't have the same message ID. Who looks at a lot of DNS? Okay, cool. So it's just like, the transaction ID in DNS, command reply, exact same thing, all right? So those 2 actually don't go together. So I think I made a button for message. Yes, I did. Awesome. Okay. So I'm on that packet. I'm at packet 316. I'm going to go ahead and hit the SMB message ID. Poof. There we go. All right. And the reason that it has a negative is that our human canceled. So really, we started to do the response, but way down, you canceled, and so the measurement went backwards. So that's why I know that it took me a while to figure that one out. And so it's kind of cool to see, you know how sometimes when you're, you know how sometimes when you're interviewing the user and they're like, well, we're doing blah, 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 and then we just give up and cancel, all right? So now you can go ahead and actually go to the cancel message and work backwards, all right? And that's actually something you do a lot in protocol analysis, is you go to the thing and work backwards, all right? So that's why I have such a weird outlook on life. So, alrighty. Okay, so that's what that means, okay? Now, alrighty. Here, let me clear my filter. And then I'm going to there we go. I'm going to go back up to the top. And now I've missed my packet. I should have stayed on the one packet and redid my stream filter. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to hit my drop down and go back to my session ID. Oh, crud, I can't because then I'm not on the right packet when I start. No worries, I'll look at something else. Okay, let's go back to our TCP 445 filter. There we go. There's my negative 24. Okay. So we have that type of error message in there. We also have some other types of error messages and or slow response times. So it's kind of nice to look at a slow response, and then we never actually want to show that picture in a finger pointing meeting, because if we show packets at a meeting, they get freaked out and scared, and they just squirrel away. So what I want to do, show them a pretty picture, okay? So I want to go ahead and look at errors or slow response. So errors, slow response. You have to pick errors, slow response. Okay, there you go. John knows first one to vote wins. Okay, he's been here before. All right. So we'll do error messages. All right. So I do believe I made you a button for SMB errors. Yep, excellent. All right. My only trouble is if I just filter for the errors, I won't have the commands that go with them. But we do have quite a few errors, and hey, some of them are slow. All right, so your slow ones are red, okay? So I'm interested in this very first error. Oh, so sometimes I'm just slow, sometimes I choke and puke. That's a choke and puke. Let's focus on that packet. So, yeah, buffer overflow. Yeah, that one's my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to do a stream, and I think I made you guys a button for, oh, I only did it for the message ID. I really wanted just that stream. Well, let's just go ahead. I'm on the status buffer overflow message. I'm on packet 386. And what I'd like to do is focus on the stream, please. There we go. So if you have 609 packets, you did it right. Okay, and what I want to do now that I've got it down to just that single stream, I want to go ahead and look from statistics and flow graph. There you are. I missed that little icon in front of flow graph that reminded me where that is. Is it just me? Is anybody else miss that? All right, just me. Okay. I do. So I've got my flow graph, but it's just a bounce chart. All right. But I don't want everything, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the drop down and say displayed packets. And it's going to think, and it's going to work. I'm going to try it again. There we go. Must not have hit hard enough the first time. All right. And what I've done is I specifically knew I was going to use the I/O graph. All right. So I changed our time column to be delta display time. Normally, I leave the time column alone, but when I use the I/O graph a lot, like I do with SMB, I change it to be delta display time so that I can see my delta times in the I/O graph. Otherwise, I have just the cumulative time in the I/O graph, and I have to do math. Ick. Okay? So, we were kind of going down to about packet number 3 something, right? But the idea is I want to see arrows going this way, arrows going that way. And if you've never used the I/O graph, right, I can see what port it is, right? What was in the info column, what the port is on the other side, and then way at the top, I can see who's the, who's sending the packets, who's the client, right? And then who's the server. Now think about it for a second again. Mike was sniffing at the client. Sometimes it's nice to go ahead and I want to see you go to the LDAP server. Do you get a reply and is it fast? Then I want to see you go to the Kerberos server, the infamous ticket granting ticket packet. All right, are you allowed to use this resource? How fast does that happen? Then you go to the next row, or the next column, excuse me, and now I go to the server and ask for the stuff, right? So seeing that in an I/O graph and seeing that in a bounce and seeing that in the different columns and different servers that you're talking to, that's nice. That's nice, all right? And then I must say, I do love the fact that now it shows it based on the colors. And I know I should not scroll down. I've certainly preached a lot about not scrolling down, but I'm going to scroll down. And don't tell anybody. Okay. And then I'm scrolling. So there's my slow responses. And then if I do a color code for errors, I can find my error responses really quick. So it's sometimes it's much easier for, it's so funny, but, because this is the same info in the packet, but sometimes for people in those finger pointing meetings, this is easier for them. So, because it's graphical, yay, arrows, okay. So I kind of like that. All right, the other thing I want to use is, in here I'm going to clear my filter. There we go. The other thing I like to use is the I/O graph for load. Now, who's used the I/O graph? That's awesome. Who does I/O graph with statistics? John, you better put your hand up. Sean, all right, and then I saw you in the room. Okay, Sean. Thank you, Pat. All right. Okay. So you can tell who's in the room has been to Betty Land. All right. So if we go ahead and use statistics, all right, which is quite nice, and actually it's something you really like to do, is like, what's the highest TCP delta? What's the average window size? And look at that graphically. It's actually really helpful, all right? But there's something that is with SMB that most people don't use with anything else, and it's called load. So what it'll do is it'll actually say how many outstanding requests you have for that server. What load are you under? All right? So the client's asked 487 questions and you've answered 3. That's a bad thing. Okay? So that's what load counts. It counts, you know.
You're saying from the client side, the client
Well, well, yeah, client requests, but you could be sniffing either at the client or at the server. Yeah. So,
what does that load show?
what does the load show? So the load shows if I have, you know, let's say once we make a graph, but let's say in a graph I have 10 packets, right? What that means is I have, at that moment in time, whether it's like 1 second or whatever interval I'm at, in that time interval, how many times has somebody sent an SMB request but not gotten a response yet?
They're kind of like bites and flight, the same.
It's exactly, oh my God, both these are for you. It is exactly like TCP bytes and flight. Yeah. All right, North Carolina, just saying, y'all come down. All right, because we get the best stuff. All right, and there we go. I give out stickers in my class. I do. So let's check that out. All right. Okay. Here, let me put that down. And all right. So up in the menu bar, let's go to statistics and I/O graph, please. So statistics, I/O graph. Now you'll notice that it's already set up for you. All right. That's the whole beauty of the profile. So even the I/O graph remembers what you have from before, which is kind of nice, you know. So if this is a graph you use a lot, you can, you know, you don't have to do it every time, right? And so I have all packets highlighted, and that's my line, and then SMB, okay, and that's wrong. That's not right. I don't know what I was smoking when I did that, but that's not what we should have done. All right, let's try that again. Let's fix it. I was like all excited that I thought I had it done for you guys. All right, so I'm going to call it number 1, SMB2. All right. If you're still using SMB1, just don't tell me. Just don't tell me, all right, because it'll hurt my feelings. All right. And then I don't have to worry about the filter. I think I was doing a graph for just all SMB2 or all SMB or something like that. There we go. And then I want the style that to be a bar, that's okay. And then drop this down. Oh, see, look, I had one from before for TCP delta and do an average. All right, so average field for TCP delta. But I want to do a load field. There we go. And then in the Y field, we want to do SMB2.time. So SMB2 dot time. Perfect. Cool. And then just toggle it back on. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna hit a reset just to kind of put it. No, that is it. Okay, well, might as well turn off all the packets then. Alrighty. So now I can see how many packets have got a request, but no reply. Seems awfully high, doesn't it? It's kind of scary. Okay. So that's the kind of thing that I look at, capturing the server again, right? So I can see trends. And, do you have issues for, depending on more traffic at the same time? And then I could do like maybe another filter for how many concurrent connections there are. So maybe if I've got a lot of clients that I have much lower. Yes, sir.
Can you do a wide open capture on the server side?
Can I do a wide open?
In that example, you would do a wide open capture on the server.
Yes, sir.
For all the traffic.
Right. So in Bettyland, okay, I wouldn't do it on the server. Right? But I would do a span port for the server. If the world was perfect, I would do a tap. I didn't have a tap in my purse, and I have some in my purse, okay? Because don't we all right? So I would do a tap, right? And if you don't want to bring the server down for a few minutes and then plug the tap in, because there's a change control situation, right? Yeah. Look at him laughing at me, he's like, no, that's not going to happen in my And so, maybe then I'm going to do a span, right? Okay, because the world is not always perfect, all right? So then I would do a span, okay? And then be capturing it with another device, a dedicated sniffer device. Not that cute little laptop with a sticker on it, all right? You see it's pink, it's precious, okay? How smooth is that? All right, so I would have a dedicated, real, honest-to-God sniffer, and then, whatever vendor, or whatever they had. And then, but yes, sir, wide open. There are no capture filters in the net. Okay, it's a thing. If worst case scenario, would put me on the box, my concerns will then be, have y'all ever done a capture and you had negative delta times? Maybe I see, yeah. And you're like, what is up with that? Right? That's because your driver can't keep up, right? He's busy being a server, he's busy serving. So he's sending packets out, bringing packets in, and if you get a copy, you're just lucky, all right? And if I put the wrong packet number in there, because remember, I do a timestamp and a packet number as I'm capturing, right? Dump cap, live cap, what have you. And they're supposed to put a frame number and a time. And if I accidentally mess over up, you're just lucky you got it back at all. All right? So can I now trust my times? No. Wasn't that the whole point of doing this? Former. Yeah, so that's why I like to sniff on the box. Yeah. Good thing. Yeah. But yeah, we totally span all day. Awesome. Yes, sir.
So this first part right here, the first count, is that normal, quote unquote? And then it starts ramping up, getting backlogged in the second one. How many?
I kind of like to see where it says time, and they're down to nothing. I don't have outstanding requests. I'm answering right away. You know what I mean? Because with that, the bigger bars tell me on either side that it's taking more than a second to respond. Or average. Yeah. And remember, it's SMB to SMB, not from the beginning of the data to the end of the data. Okay? It's SMB to SMB. Right, so we started it, I asked for it, and the server said, yes, I'm going to do it. That's a big difference, you have to understand the stats. That's a good question. Alrighty, okay. Good time. All right, so I want to show you one more thing in this trace file, and then I want to move to another trace file because there's one more thing in Wireshark that I want to do to show SMB. Oh, For a minute there, I couldn't remember what it was. All right. So, since we're looking at, response time, okay, let's go ahead and come up to the menu bar and go to statistics and come on down to service response. Oops, not the IO graph, Betty. Come on down to service response time. There we go. Now you have a ton listed, all right? It's not obviously an exhaustive list, but there's quite a few, all right? Hey, while we're here, thoughts on a diameter presentation next year? Diameter? No? Okay, all right, fine. All right, we'll just talk to all the carrier people. They want to talk about diameter. All right, so good. We'll do Kerberos and LDAT. All right, and radius. All right, but anyway, SMB2. There we go. Now here, I'm going to zoom in, and then we're going to talk about what you see. Okay. Now, right now, I'm configured in this profile to allow TCP reassembly off. Because I always have TCP reassembly off, unless of course I turned it on this morning to do testing something, forgot to turn it back off. By default, I never have it off because it's a memory and processor sucking hog. All right. So said with all love and support. Okay. And so, do you guys know what it means to do reassembly? Have you been to any of the talks that talk about that? Okay, so some, all right, so some yes, and then everybody else is going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's talk about that then. Go. So imagine in your brain, right, a book. Remember when we used to read those? So think of a book with, lots of pages, right, and the whole book is a file. Now, you want to go ahead and read the book. And you want to count how long it takes to read the book, right? So should you count from the time it takes for you to read the cover, that's the request, to the first page, which tells you that Heathcliff is running through the moors? Or, and how, I should think of something else. Okay, just me, I just love the Heathcliff. All right, you guys probably want something else. Okay. And so Heathcliff's running through the moors, right? And then, so you should measure that time. So that took half a millisecond, right? Or do you want to measure the time when you say to read the book, to read the whole book, every page is a packet, every single one, you know how thick that book is, right? Every single one. And then finally, praise God, we're at the last page in the book, and look, oh, they didn't get married. Oh.
We went to the last page first.
There you go. We could do it that way next. Okay, so the way I have it configured now, I'm going to the first page. How long of a time between the request and the first response? Like, I heard what you said, I'm going to get the file, and I'm going to give it to you. It'll be awesome. All right? And then the second way, all right, to read the last page first, that's the user experience. So if I want the user experience, I need to go to the last page. How long did it take to get all the way there? Alrighty? So that's what the dissector is. Allow the dissector to reassemble the book. Do you want to treat the book as one page at a time, or do you want to treat the book all put together as a whole book? Alright? So depending on which way you want to go, both are good things. It's just which way you want to go, all right? I normally want to see how, so for me, okay, I want to prove it's not the network, all right? So, because that's usually who hires me. I'll just be honest, I can't lie to you. So I want to show that.
What's your favorite color?
Really? Exactly. And so I want to go ahead from the command to the response. How long did that take? Oh, I'm spanning the server, and it took 8 seconds. It's not my network, okay? But, if you live there and you have to actually help people, then you're not going to see the whole response. It's like super fast initial response, but oh my gosh, that book must be 8 billion pages long because it took 3 days. And you know it's a little bit long. So, you know, sometimes it's good to have both pieces of information. All right, so in your brain right now, realize that I have subdissectors off, which means I'm going from first to first. And then we'll flip it, and then you'll see the difference. So right now, let's see, what's the biggest, longest, maximum response time thingy? I see 30 on that screen. Yeah, all right, that is not good. I don't want to do anything for 30 seconds. All right. So yeah, so that seems to take the longest. All right. Well now, put that in your head. Okay, I'm going to zoom out, which I can't do because I have that in my hand. Let me go put that down. So I'll do a close. And I'm just going to toggle it. Normally for me, I do 2 different profiles, and I toggle my profiles for this. I just like to do it that way, so that I know, I can look down and I know whether it's on, off, all right? So where are you? In the TCP header, right? Any of the fields in the TCP header, doesn't matter to me which one. I'm going to do the title. I'm going to do a right click. And here, let's do that. There we go. And then let's zoom. There, okay? So I did a right click. Oh. Can I just yell? Can you hear me in the back? Good. All right, good, because I need to pick up that mic. All right, so all I had to do is right click there in the TCP header, go up a couple, maybe 3, 4 protocol preferences, scroll on over, allow subdissectors to reassemble, click it. Okay. There we go, perfect. All right, you just changed all of your SMB time calculations. All right, so let's go ahead and go to statistics and service response times and come on down to SMB2. There we go, and we'll zoom. All right, so notify is still the worst, but all right, I'm going to put you on the spot again, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember how big any of these files are?
They're not huge. 32 kilobytes, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a meg.
Okay, maybe a meg. Isn't he cute? Maybe a meg. All right. So, not really big. All right. So, because I was looking for a bigger spread and bigger change in the time changes. All right. So that's why they almost look the same. But you get the idea, right? Yeah. Sort of, kind of? No? Maybe? Okay. Well, pop open one of your traces, use my profile, and then, you know, go ahead and make the change and see what it looks like. Yeah, yeah. Because I do a different profile for every protocol I use. It just is easier for me because your protocol settings, your columns, your filters are all protocol based. So do a different profile for every protocol. Yeah, yeah, it's just easier that way. Oh, and remember, I'm efficient. I'm a twin mom, so. Exactly, man. There we go. All right. Okay. So that's some of the stuff that I use in Wireshark to make this a little easier. All right. Let's do one more file. Okay. Now let's see if I can come back to this and make this work. Thinking only positive thoughts. Okay. So we've got a user that is whining because it's taking forever to print. All right. So let's go to the clues. This trace file was taken at the server. I have filtered it to a single conversation because remember, while it's easy to change the addresses with Trace Wrangler and port numbers, I had to hand do the SMB data so that you don't know who it is. So I filtered it first, okay? And anytime you see D, delta, delta, delta in hex, that means I typed that in over somebody else's stuff. Just to kind of know. Okay, all right. I was gonna say, we didn't need that door. It's all right. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pop that one open. Okay. Now you'll notice that I go ahead and have my color rules as a column, because then it's easier for me to remember why on earth that thing's red. And I do follow the LoRa methodology of deciding on your categories, and then maybe all of that category being one color type of thing. And having them start with T for troubleshooting kind of thing, and then maybe N for notes. I don't do security, so I don't have to do an S. So boom, I have 2 categories. All right. So, but I do like to follow that line, especially because then I can sort it by the coloring rule, so all my troubleshooting stuff's together. Yeah, I like that. So that's what that T dash means. All right. And so apparently we've got some, bad TCP stuff going on. All right. We do have some retransmissions in here. And there is slow response. Now, capturing closest to the server. And when I say closest to the server, what I mean is we are on the box. Remember how I told you I don't like to do that, but sometimes you gotta. So we're on the box, okay? Nothing should take 4.5 seconds. All right. Now, let's look at the handshake and look at to see how long the handshake is. Bless you. Bless you. In fact, let me go ahead and bring up there my handshake, my TCP header. Come on down to your, oops, that's not what I want. I want that one that's so long. There we go. Sequence and analysis section. There we go. And the IRTT. So, bearing in mind these are 2 10 dots, and when I started, they were 2 10 dots, all right? When you look at the IRTT, what are your thoughts?
Very far away.
Very far away. And it's like, goodness gracious, nothing should take 300 milliseconds to go ahead and do a round trip. I mean, we can get to the moon faster than that, all right? So, yeah. Okay, so we got a problem there. Maybe there is a network problem this time. I don't know. All right. So it's taking forever to get on back. If I go ahead, how many hops away are these 2 from each other? Yeah, there we go. 7 hops. Who said 7? Yay! Oh, Chris. Okay. And of course, Chris said 7. You can't play, Chris. Okay. Ringer. So if I've got only 7 hops away, and it's my hops, it's not like 7 hops through the internet. These are 7 10 dot hops. It's my chain. That is just wrong. All right. But timings have not been doctored. Data, not timings. All right.
Sorry.
Sir.
Where's the hops?
Oh, where are the hops? Sure, if you just go right into the IP header, okay, so I'm gonna, yeah, there you go. You go to the IP header, right, there you go, time to lives. No worries. So the beautiful 128 means it started here, right? You always start a nice, beautiful binary number, and then let me go to the other guy, and he started at 128, now he's down to 121. Yeah, okay. Sometimes they start at 64, it's always a beautiful binary number, 255, Okay.
I don't have 5, sorry.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I'm just excited you found your jacket, okay? Don't lose your computer, though. All right.
Round trip time and the handshake.
What's the round trip time in the handshake? Okay, that is the IRTT, which is why I kind of wanted to go there. But since it's already got the handshake up here at the top, okay, I'm going to scroll over, and there you go. 374 milliseconds. Yeah, that's what the IRTT is. From the SYN to the ACK is what the initial round trip time is in the TCP header. Yeah, that's what that field is for. Yeah. Louder?
300 milliseconds latency.
Yeah.
They're way.
Yeah. Okay, so they have problems. All right, so they have problems, but wait, it gets worse. Okay?
It's broke.
But wait, there's even more after that. All right, so okay, so they do have a network problem, all right, and, okay, but that's not the worst of it. Remember, obviously they have a network problem. You see all the retransmissions, we've got a packet loss issue. Those response times are from the application layer command to the application layer response. Where are we sniffing? On the server. Yeah. So that's not network. So yeah, okay, so there's some network fixing to go on, but hi, at least, the network wasn't adding, 4.5 seconds, okay? There we go. All right. Cool. Okay. So sometimes it is just server processing delay issues. That's not the worst of it. If you sort it, I think there's something in there that's like 25 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I don't even know. It's so bad. All right. But, questions? Oh, yeah. But a lot more than that. They could actually replace the server. So, so any other questions? Well, gentlemen, then there we go. Yay!